And today we're going to be talking about getting seller listing leads from your PCSOI. So if that's what you want to hear, you're in the right place. It's going to be a good one, going to be fun. Got a lot of good information to share. Actually, it's going to be pretty quick, which is nice as well. So we have time for Q&A and answering questions, masterminding, and brainstorming. Hey, I appreciate you being here, Sam. Good to have you here, and thanks for joining us. We'll be starting up in about a minute. Thank you for letting me know that you could hear everything. Are you excited about our call today?
Oh yeah, I've been following you for years, and a lot of the Power Agent Summit that I've joined over the years, the recordings that you send online, a lot of those nuggets have helped me. I've grown every year since 2010.
I love that. That is fantastic. Congratulations. And how's your year going this year right now?
I had my best year last year, 35 units. I'm already at 10 this year. So wow. I'm hoping to get to 40.
That is fantastic. And are you a solo agent, Sam?
Solo agent in Long Island.
That's beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. 30, 40 units as a solo agent. That is really crushing it. Good job. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome.
So hi, I'm Mike Cerrone, and welcome to the Referral Mastermind call. And today we are going to focus in on getting seller leads from your PCSOI database. That's going to be the focus of today. And basically, I talked to a top agent who shared how he's doing that, and I'm going to relay to you that concept. So let me pull up some screens real quick here. Let's make sure I can do this correctly and properly. And hopefully you can now see my screen. And it's boom, boom, boom. I got a couple quick slides here. And there we go. Hopefully we're all together. Oops, hit the wrong button. All right, there we go. All right, so today's Referral Mastermind call is how to find seller listings in your PCSOI database. And here's the big question. Do you need more listings? I assume you do in today's very tight market. Do you like working with referrals? I think most people do. I'm yet to meet someone who didn't. Well, why don't you try to combine the effort? That's what we're going to talk about today. So if you want to learn how to find more seller listings in your PCSOI, that's Past Client and Sphere of Influence database, your friends, family, past clients, you're in the right place. And let's go ahead and dig in. So again, hello and welcome to the Referral Mastermind call. I'm your host, Mike Cerrone. The format of the Mastermind is simple. At the beginning, I'm going to share with you a referral idea. That's what we're about to go over, a concept for a few minutes. Then we're going to open up for Q&A, comments, brainstorming, some masterminding. So as we're talking, feel free to type any questions that may come up for you. Go ahead and type those into the chat or the comment section. And we're going to review those after we go over our quick idea. Also, we're trying this a little new today where we're on a Zoom call as well, where we're bringing you in. And so when we get to that point, you have questions, we'll have you unmute yourself and we'll chat with you as well. That'll be at the end. So that's something that's exciting. And again, today's call is about getting referrals from your PCSOI. So where does this idea come from? And I'm learning I need an administrator here. This is cool. Have a lot of folks come in. So where does the idea come from? Well, this idea work is the big question. And here's where it came from. The idea that we're about to talk about came from Jay Acker. Jay's a cool guy, and he sold 408 homes in 1 year worth $98 million. And so, yeah, I think he knows what he's talking about. So it's probably a good idea. So we got 25% of his business is coming from referrals, about 100 closings a year, about 2 closings a week. So pretty cool. And that's just on the referral side. So if you want to hear Jay's full story, by the way, get his full background, which is a phenomenal call. He did a success call with us, which is our podcast. And that was episode number 178. You can hear Jay and his ideas and concepts if you go to mastermindagent.com and you just type in his name into our search bar. Again, that's Jay Acker. And That'll be episode number 178, or you can see it out there on our podcasts, anywhere you like to listen to podcasts. All right, so let's jump in. How to find seller listings inside of your PCSOI database with a two-step method. So Jay kind of created this two-step method, a little bit of passive and a little bit of active. It's pretty cool. I think you'll like it. So make an assumption, though. The assumption is that you've already listed out all your past clients in sphere of influence and put them into a CRM database. For some of you, that's obvious, and you've already done that. But a lot of people I talk to have not taken that first step. So if that's you, no problem. Don't sweat it. Doesn't matter how long ago you talked to them. It's never too late to start. In fact, Jay Acker, that we're talking about today, he said that one of his biggest regrets for he and his wife, Carissa, when they were in real estate, is the first 8 years they weren't tracking their past clients and sphere of influence. And then when they did, they put them in a database. Oh my gosh, the business started to take off. I will also admit that I made that error. For the majority of my career, I wasn't tracking my past clients and sphere of influence. So I was working a lot harder than I needed to. So let's try to prevent that from happening. For you, be sure to take those people and put them in your database. All right, the other assumption here is that you've already, if you have them in your database, you've already started a typical stay in touch program to stay in front of them. So what we're going to talk about today is an add-on to that. All right. So that's what Jay did, is he applied passive and active techniques to the program. And let's jump right into it. Step one is the passive technique. And basically what he did is he took these folks that are homeowners in his database and he added them into a market snapshot, which is a program out there where it basically gives a digital update on listings and solds in the neighborhood around the seller. It's keeping them in tune with what's going on in the neighborhood. I'm sure that wherever you live, when you see a sign pop up on your street or down the street, even you as a real estate agent, you're like, well, what's going on there? You know, why didn't they call me would be one of your questions, of course, but it's probably, well, what's going on in my neighborhood? What's the value? Is this going to change things? Well, that's kind of exciting. I wonder what's happening. Just imagine if you're not an agent, it's even more intense because you don't have access to the MLS. And those people then start looking for that information, go try to grab a flyer off the sign or call or look on the internet or whatever they're going to do. They're very curious. And that's why this is very valuable, because it's going to give that immediate information. Now you can set up the homeowners that you have. Just go ahead and set them up on the program and assume everything's going to be okay. Or you can make a phone call out to them and get one of your touches for the year. Here's the script that you could use, that Jay uses. And here's basically how it goes. Says, hey, Sally, I'm happy to set you up with a market snapshot. By the way, this is after you've already started the conversation and got your welcomes out of the way. But hey, Sally, I'm happy to set you up with a market snapshot. It's an app that will send you an email update on your neighborhood anytime anything changes that affects your value, including the prices in your neighborhood that are the prices of your neighbors that are selling their homes and what they're selling for. It only takes 60 seconds. Do you want me to set you up? And Jay tells me that almost everyone says yes, because everybody's curious about what's going on in their neighborhood. Very few people opt out. That's also interesting to me, that once people get into it, very, very few people opt out. They like that data. And it's kind of funny, even though I'm in the business and have been in for a long time, 3 decades now, my lender that I did some business with a while back, he set me up on a different system called HomeBot. And I get that thing once a month. And I got to admit, I kind of check it out and look at it, even though I have access to all kinds of information. So I think it's valuable. And I haven't even unsubscribed from his system, just because it's kind of neat that it comes in and gives me a quick update once a month. All right, so alternatives to Market Snapshot. So if you don't have Market Snapshot and you want to think about how else can I do something like this? Well, there are standalone services. I just mentioned HomeBot was one that I've seen somebody send me. I'm sure there are a whole bunch, but look for standalone services. You also, in your CRM, you might already have this ability, especially if it's connected through an IDX or the MLS. And so, for instance, I've got KV Core. You got a market report that goes out to people, and it keeps them updated. On the general market, either you can do it by zip code, you can do it by neighborhood. So look for something inside of your CRM that already has this. And then your MLS service may already have it. So you might have a specific seller report, again, a general snapshot, or something very specific. And an example that would be a reverse buyer report, where you're basically putting your seller in like a buyer. So they're getting those instant notifications when a listing comes up. If you do that, though, what I advise is you make it very tight and narrow in the area that you're sending them listings to. Don't send them listings of everything in their zip code. That'll drive them insane, right? Take it down to, say, a 1 block radius around their house. Very tight. If you think about 1 block radius, it sounds small, but it's actually 9 blocks. And so that's basically their block, 1 block up, 1 block down, and then left and right, 1 block over and down. And it ends up being 9 blocks. So there's quite a bit of activity can pop up, but just right in their area, something they may be driving by. So something to do there to help. Now, step 2 is the active part. That's making the phone calls to the database. And Jay does this quarterly, every 90 days. So once every 3 months, he's reaching out and talking to his people. And this is a great opportunity to chat with them about something that you need some help with. And he's trying to avoid the dreaded call or the conversation where somebody says, I totally forgot that you're in real estate after they listed with your competitor. Don't you hate that conversation? You've got to try to blow it off like it doesn't bother you, but it really does. And just remember, if that ever happens, whose fault is it? It was your fault. You weren't staying in touch with your people or not enough. That's my thought. All right, so your PCSOI, they're seeing yard signs pop up in front of their neighbors' houses, want to know if this affects their value. Everybody's curious about that. So they're going to call your competitors if you're not staying in touch with them because they want to know the information. Now, remember, NAR did that study years ago where they basically found out, I think it was 86% of all people who used an agent in the past would use them again. They really liked the experience. But it was only like 15% can remember the name of their agent. So you can't rely on them remembering. You've got to stay in touch with them. And again, this is the idea. So no voicemail. When he's making these phone calls to find out for listings and look for searching for sellers, he's not leaving voicemails. He wants to only talk active or live, and he wants to keep the call short. All right, so here is kind of the gold nugget. Might want to write this down or take a screenshot of it, but this is the indirect approach script that Jay is using. So he's going to call up and Jay's going to say, excuse me, hey, Sally, hope you're doing great. I haven't talked with you in a while. Listen, I'm calling today because if you're following the news, you know there's nothing in terms of inventory of homes for sale. And I'm just calling everyone, my good friends like you, to find out if you know of anyone in this area who's even considering selling their home or thinking about moving. We have buyers brimming over the top, and we're trying to find homes for them. So I'm calling all of my close friends. Who do you know right now that might need to sell their home? That's it. That's the script. And then he goes from there. But that's basically how he starts that out. He's showing why he's calling. There's this low inventory. He's got a need to find homes for sale because he's got all these buyers that he wants to help. I know you're probably in the same position. And he's just directly asking, do you know of anybody who's thinking about putting their home on the market? Notice what he's not doing. He's not saying, hey, Sally, are you thinking about selling your home? That's not the approach he's taking. That's why I call it the indirect approach. He's saying, hey, do you know of anyone else who may be thinking about selling their home? Now, there's a probability that Sally says, well, yeah, I'm thinking about selling my home. And cool. Or she might say, my neighbor's thinking about it, or my friend, or my cousin, or however that comes down. It's opening up that dialogue. All right, so reactions to that script. If they say yes, they know someone, great, ask about that lead and get permission to call. If they say, no, I don't know anybody, just say, hey, cool, do me a favor. If you bump into anyone at work or at church or the gym or anywhere who's thinking about selling, tell them about me and tell me about them. Give me a call and let me know so that because I got all these families that I'm trying to help find a home, and I'd really appreciate your help. Could you do that for me? That's it. It's very simplistic, but you're basically combining this active prospecting approach with your passive program where you're keeping them updated on the listings in their neighborhood, because that's the most valuable information to them. And by the way, when you do those, you're going to have your call to actions, I assume. I should have mentioned that earlier. Well, hopefully that is helping. And the recap of this simple two-step method is: one, the passive market snapshot, and two, the active quarterly phone call to stay in touch with them. Either is going to work fine on its own. It'll get you down the line. But when you combine these two together, you have a little extra power and you're going to have some better results. That's true with all mediums. So let's open this up to some Q&A, some comments, some brainstorming. What do you think about this idea from Jay? Are you doing anything similar? Are you sending a drip campaign to your PCSOI? Do you have your homeowners on a market snapshot or any kind of similar program where you're notifying them of what's happening in their neighborhood? And do you call your PCSOI either quarterly or any other frequency to touch base with them and ask if they know about any listings that may be coming up on the market, anybody that needs to sell a home? Or are you doing something else that's working with your past clients, a sphere of influence, to generate these seller referrals that we're all looking for? So let's talk, let's brainstorm, let's do a little masterminding. In a second here, we'll ask you to unmute yourself and tell me about your thoughts. And or you could type your ideas or questions into the comments section. It could be on any referral issue, either something mentioned today or referral concept that you would like to talk about it. By the way, while I'm waiting for those to come in through chat, because we have a little delay going through with Facebook, if you have any agent friends who could benefit from these calls, by the way, please tell them about the Referral Mastermind group. Invite them to join us. Just send them to referralmastermindcall.com to sign up for free, and they'll also be notified by email when the next call will be. All right, so again, I want to open this up for some Q&A, and I'm new at this, so I'm going to be just trying to open this up here and see what we got. All right, so I'm going to look in comments if you have anything in comments, or feel free to unmute yourself and ask any question you like, or tell us if you've had any experiences that either have or have not worked. Let's bring it out to the group. Okay. All right, anybody, don't be shy. If you have any comments, we'll listen to you. I'm going to look on our Facebook as well. I usually have my wife sidekicking for me to help me out with this, but she had to take our granddaughter. So I'm going to try to see if I can do this myself. I don't see anything. Okay, so if anybody has any thoughts, Lynn, Chuck, Jacqueline, Richard, Tamara, Gil, Trista, and I hope I'm saying everybody's name right, Susan, Lynn, if you want to unmute yourself and ask, fire away.
Hey, Mike, it's Tamara.
Oh, hey, Tamara, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Hey, it's good to hear your voice.
Good, thanks. So I've been doing that with the past clients for a while, you know, just kind of an annual update on what's happening.
Cool.
And some of those clients that have been in the database for a while that haven't been able to get off the dime as far as moving for one reason or another, maybe because of the pandemic for the last 2 years.
Okay.
But I've also started to expand that a little into a cold call approach to some of these neighbors that are out there, you know, in neighborhoods that I've worked, you know, just pulling up the public records and seeing that, you know, one of my neighborhoods, there were like half the neighborhood is our original owners. They've been there over 17 years. So that's that group that should be perhaps considering a move, and just kind of sending them a touch, you know, a flyer with some market information, and just trying to, you know, shake the trees loose a little and see what we can maybe come up with.
Has that been working?
I've just got the list going and I'm putting together a mailer. So we'll see.
It's good. Thank you for bringing that. So you're going to reach out by mail? Are you also going to call or door knock?
I'm not going to door knock. But I will reach out. Fastpeoplesearch.com is a pretty good way to get a phone number. And so I'll use that and get phone numbers and follow up with phone calls and stuff.
Fastpeople.com. Is that a paid service or a free service?
It's fastpeoplesearch.com. And knock on wood, right now it's still free.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to hear how that goes. What are you going to send out? What's the flyer going to look like?
It's TBD. It's all in the works. This is a slow burn for me. But, probably some market data on what has sold in the neighborhood, just a quick snapshot, some numbers as far as, how low the inventory is, what we're experiencing in the market. There's lots of demand, no inventory. That's nationally. So, just a couple little bullets, nothing that's going to be too much. And then, call me for details on your property.
Good. Yeah. The key for success, if you're doing a mailer, is the call to action. It's the offer and the call to action. And historically, the best offers have been a free market analysis, a free CMH, same thing they did in the old days.
Yeah.
The thing you got to work on today is you've got to set yourself apart, though, from, say, a Zillow's estimate, those kind of things. And the way you want to do that is you want to say that in your promotion, hey, this is not one of those real wide-ranged, generic market analysis. This is from a professional who works in your neighborhood, your local area. I know the market really well. I can help you get a very accurate number if that's something that you need. Contact me, and you can either have the call to action be to call you, to go online to fill out a form, which is a little less threatening to them. But those are some of the, you even do an old 1-800 number, an IVR, those kind of things. But the best is probably to go online because it's less threatening. But also I would have my phone number in there and maybe your email address. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. It'll have all my contact for sure. And
Cool.
And I like the idea of, it's reiterating that I am a local expert familiar with this neighborhood. And
you got to juxtapose it to what they think they could get online, right? You've
right.
got to answer that objection in their mind of, oh, well, can't I just get this online? And so if you answer that question up front, you're going to have a more success with it. Nate Brill does a good job with that. He's done it for years. And it was pretty smart to put himself opposed to that, opposite to that, and go right up against Zillow. And I think Nate, as a solo, hit just under 100 closed units. That was how he was doing it from his PCSOI and then from some geographic farming, as well as he did some open houses in the early days. But anyway, it's a good idea to keep in your mind that juxtapose. The other thing is, if I could give any advice or help, would be that you want to create a lot of pictures on there of properties in their neighborhood. And the reason being, they're going to say, oh, that house looks just like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so they're
Right.
going to feel oh, this is talking to me. In fact, that's my neighbor's house. Right. That would even
Right.
be better. So I would try to get some pictures, look at your MLS rules and IDX and so forth. Usually allows you to do that as long as you have a full disclaimer on the bottom of your promotion that maybe this wasn't your listing as an example, but you're showing data. I think it's good. I think it's a great idea. I appreciate you bringing that to us. I can't wait to hear how it goes.
Okay. You're welcome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
That was really nice. Does anyone else have any comments, questions, thoughts, brainstorming on how can we find these seller leads in our PCSOI? Anything you've had success with or you're thinking about doing? And or just a generic question about getting more referrals from your past clients and sphere of influence. If you have any more you'd like to chat about, please unmute yourself and fire away. In the meantime, I'm trying to see if we got any more chat questions, but again, please unmute yourself and ask anything that you would like to chat about. This is your opportunity here. Okay, and I don't see, I'm probably doing it wrong, but I don't see comments or chats on the main page. Oh, let me look over here. It's like the blind leading the blind over here. All right, so cool. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging with us today and participating. We're going to try to make this mastermind a little more participatory and get more ideas sharing back and forth. Let me go ahead and see. I don't think I have much more on my slides, but let's take a fast look. I think that was it. Yeah, we had the Q&A. We had, hey, invite a friend. By the way, if you like this and you want to get some more people involved and you think they could be helped by this, please ask them to go check out referralmastermindcall.com. Oh, and so our wrap up again, that was fun. I hope this was helpful. If you like that two-step approach, try to implement that into your business. And we'll be meeting back here next week, same time, same place, where we'll provide you with another referral tip or idea, typically coming from the top agents. If you have any additional questions about our program sponsor, Referral Masters, go back to the agent who invited you to the call. They'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you want to talk to me one-on-one about improving your referral program or how I can help you get more referrals, you can schedule a Zoom meeting with me at referralmasters.net. Hope today's call has been helpful to you. So keep moving forward, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Have a fantastic week out there right now. Hope you get a lot of business and have a great week. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.